Hello and welcome to our regular sessions on TSM, and today I'd like to introduce you to TSM Remote. TSM Remote is our mobility solution bringing back office TSM jobs into the field for your technicians to update their information. TSM Remote is accessed via a web browser, and once you've entered the URL for the web browser you will be presented with the TSM Remote login screen. Enter your username and password that you had been provided with to access TSM Remote itself. The first screen you will see in the TSM Remote is our assignment job list. This is a list of jobs that have been assigned to you via the TSM Visual Scheduler. Use this list if you allocate jobs through a scheduling function. The Jobs tab, if I click on that, has a similar list, but this is a list of jobs where the logged in user is the primary employee allocated to the job. Use this if you do not schedule jobs via the Visual Scheduler but allocate jobs by name. Either way, you can restrict the list of jobs that are displayed by our filter options at the top. By default, you look at future assignments, which are any assignments today or into the future, but you could restrict that to be all dates, today only, past assignments, or choose a particular date to have a look at. Once you're in the job list here, you can click on a column heading to sort the column and click it again to sort it and toggle between ascending and descending sorting. And to open up a job to have a look at it, click on the job number in the job column. Clicking on 1024 will open up job 1024. The very first thing you'll see at the top of the job is our timer. Typically when one arrives at the site, they will start the timer indicating they have commenced work. Choose the relevant labour type, defaulting probably to your standard labour, and press start the timer and the clock will start ticking. At the top of the assignment job detail view you can see the assignment showing when you were supposed to arrive, the name of the job, the details of where you need to go in any site notes, and if you wish you can also have a look at the customer and the billing customer information. Scrolling further down we have the job header information such as status code, job types, department codes, etc. You can change these as you need to as the job commences. Scrolling further down is our service requested, which is your description of what you need to do on the job. And then once we commence working on the job, we can enter our work performed, which is our invoice description. We can add parts and time to the job, and we can also update equipment on the job. And finally, we can then go and attach documents to the job or photos taken on your device, sign the job off, and complete the job. Let's go back a bit further, and the first thing we want to do is we want to go and add some parts to the job. To add a part to the job, click in the product ID field, type in any part of the part number that you may recognize, and then tabbing out of the field will bring up our product search screen, which will list any parts that have the searched for string, in this case TS, anywhere inside the product ID or the description. Choose the part that you are interested in by clicking on the product ID, and you will be returned back to the job with the part number there. Enter your quantity that you are going to use. The price has already been entered for you, and then press the green save button to save that part. Actually, I think I will choose a different part because I don't like that one. So if you make a mistake, you can simply, before saving, type your product ID in again and choose a different part number from the list. In that case, I'll choose one of these. And I think I'm only going to use two of those, and we'll go and save that part on the job by pressing the green save button. Add as many parts as you like to the job. As you add parts, the in bracketed number there tells you how many parts you already have on the job, and the parts total updates underneath the parts on the job. I'd now like to go and update the equipment on my job. So I can go and add more equipment, or I can go and edit the details of the equipment by clicking on the product ID again, and I can see the information on the job. I may wish to update the serial number. I may wish to enter counters if I'm capturing meter counts. But most importantly, I can see the job history, which would appear in this section here if other jobs have been done on this particular piece of equipment. If I have a checklist assigned to the job, I can go and enter the checklist. I have 3 different checklists I can enter. I can have an assignment checklist. Red means there is nothing to enter. Sorry, my mistake. An assignment checklist, blue means there is nothing for me to do. I can have a job checklist. In this case, yellow tells me there is in fact a job checklist hanging off this job that needs to be entered. And I can also have equipment checklists as well. Let's go and enter my job checklist by clicking on the yellow job checklist button. And this displays a list of questions. In this case, I happen to have 2 checklists assigned to this job. Checklist 1 with 2 questions and checklist 2 with 3 questions. If I wish, I can go and answer the questions independently by clicking on any of the answers and choosing from the list. But if I'm answering them with all the default answers, I can save time by simply clicking on the Set All Default button, and that will go through and set the default values to each of the questions. I can still go and override any question that I want with my own answer, or I can choose the individual default options against each question. But once I've gone and answered my checklist, I can also type in some comments into the section. I can then simply go back and return, and you will notice now that the checklist is no longer yellow. It is now green, indicating that all the questions have in fact been answered. I've now finished working on the job. If I was on my tablet, I could press the add button and add in some photos from the camera or from the photo library. If I had a tablet, I'm now finished. What I'd like to do is have the job signed off. So I click on the job signature button, of which the customer then can go and enter their signature. The employee can also go and enter their signature into the job as well. If you wish, press the save button, go back, and then the last thing we really want to do is complete the job. To complete the job, you press the complete button here, which will complete the job, and depending on how you have TSM configured, it will either put a completed date in the date completed here, and or it will set the status code to the completed status. And that's all I really need to do to go and manage jobs in TSM Remote.